Hey guys, it's Michelle with Deception Bytes, and I'm coming to you with the latest Q post. But first, I want to talk to you about something that's really, really heavy on my heart, and it's important. It's important, and it goes along with everything that Q has been talking about as well. I'm sure you've heard about the whole Twitter fiasco today, where they have deleted thousands of accounts of conservative Twitter users, and I'm sure you're also aware of what is going on with YouTube. And while we're on that subject, if you want to be subscribed to this channel, make sure you keep subscribed, because they are desubscribing people against their will. Because there's several people that I follow that I've been desubscribed to, because apparently the nanny states thinks that they are too dangerous for me to view. And I think, thank you very much, but I think that I'm capable of making that decision, YouTube. So yes, I'm very irritated. I don't like somebody telling me what views that I should subscribe to and which I should not. Now, I want to explain something to you, and I hope I don't come across like I'm talking down to you, because that is not my intention at all. I know that my listeners are intelligent people, but maybe not all of you have heard of this and understand this concept. I don't know. But where we are right now in America is we're in a cultural hegemony. And what that is it's the domination of a culturally diverse society, which ours is. We are a culturally diverse society. But we're being dominated by the ruling class, and they manipulate the culture of that society, the beliefs, explanations, perceptions, values, and mores, so that their imposed ruling class worldview becomes the accepted cultural norm. So that is what's happening in America right now. We have a ruling class, and it's their perceptions, their beliefs, their mores, their values that are being imposed on us. And, it becomes the accepted narrative. Okay, well, you might ask yourself, well, how do they do that? How did that happen? How did we get there? Well, we got there because they rule by manufactured consent. Now, I'm sure you're asking, what is that? What's that mean? If you've never heard of this, now many of you have. But manufactured consent is this, and I've got an example here, because it's something that's right in the news and right in our face every single day now. Let's just talk about gun control, okay? On the news, all we hear about is how awful they are. It's killing our babies. Oh, and these are the same people that are fine with abortion or fine with selling infant body parts. But that's all we're hearing about, how evil guns are and how they're killing our children, and it's just awful. But you see, we don't hear any other narrative, so we don't have all the facts to make a decision. That is called manufactured consent. They're manufacturing consent because they're keeping us from all the information that would be necessary to make an educated decision, because they want us to come to their decision. So they're giving us it. That way we kind of feel like we're we have some choice, but we don't, because we never get all the information, because they're controlling the narrative. They're the ones that are controlling the news, and now we're being censored from alternative media, YouTube, Twitter. They're controlling the narrative so that you don't get all the information. You only get the information that would make you come to the decision they want you to come to. For example, we never hear that every year guns are used over 80 times more often to protect a life than to take one. No, we don't hear that. We don't hear that 270 million people own guns in America, and guns are used 200,000 times a year by women to protect against sexual assault. We don't hear about that either, do we? No, of course not. Nor do we hear the fact that a recent study published in the Harvard Journal of Law and Public Policy concluded that there is a negative correlation between gun ownership and violent crime in countries internationally. More guns, less crime. We don't hear that, do we? When was the last time you heard that? Probably right now. Some of us have never heard that. We don't hear the fact that nations with strict gun controls have substantially higher murder rates than those do those in general. In fact, the 9 European nations with the lowest gun ownership rate have a combined murder rate 3 times that of the 9 European nations with the highest gun ownership. We don't hear that, do we? That is an example of manufactured consent. We don't have all of the information to make a rational and informed decision. And it's ticking me off because basically they're acting like our nannies and telling us what we can see, what is acceptable for us to think. And really, it's only their view. Only their view is the acceptable view. So I just had to get that off my chest. It's been on my mind, and I would really encourage you, if you've never read the book 1984, or if you haven't read it since you were a kid, get it and read it. It's a very, very good book, and it's so pertinent for right now. And some of you may not be readers, but you can. I don't know. There's all sorts of places where you can get Audible books. So I don't know if they have it as an Audible book. I'm sure they do. But it's just really important. It was very, very prophetic, and there's so much in there. Anyway, I just encourage you if you're so inclined and you have the time. But I will go on with the Q post now. I really had to get that off my chest because it's irritating me with this whole shooting thing. And I'm going to make a video about that hopefully tonight. So for now, I will go on with the Q post and get off of my hobby horse. Okay, so where we left off last time was with the American flag. So I want to make sure, yep. Okay. Now, the very next drop is February 21st. And Q says, stay tuned. Everything has meaning or a purpose. At Jack. Getting nervous, and of course that's Jack Dorsey of Twitter, and getting nervous. Phase 2, Q. Now, it's interesting that he says stay tuned. I'm not sure if he means stay tuned to the news, or stay tuned here, or just, because of course a lot of things come out in the news that Q says. Q will say something and then bang, something's in the news. And then Q will refer to it and say, okay, well, this was that. And so the future makes, these posts in the future make sense. Some of them don't make sense to us at the time we're reading them. So I'm not sure if that's the case or not. But obviously, Jack Dorsey is in the crosshairs right now. And he must be getting very nervous because obviously what happened with the Twitter users, I think, was a knee-jerk reaction. Personally, I do, but I can't see it how it would be anything else. Now, this is interesting. Q says the gun found by the U.S. Secret Service was an intercept we provided. This is not a game. Protect code went live. Code signals clean. We are moving up the timetable. Q. Now, of course, we know that there was a gun found in the bag of a driver in the presidential motorcade, and we know that it was kind of downplayed in the media, but I had a suspicion that it was an assassination attempt. I really believe that, and I think that the news downplayed it. But here, Q is saying that they intercepted it. They probably heard, chatter or whatever, and the U.S. Secret Service did their job and intercepted it, was able to get the gun and prevent whatever was about to occur. And I do believe that there was something about to occur. He says this is not a game. Protect code went live. Now, I don't know what the protect code is, but it's probably a code that is given to the Secret Service, and they know what to do. Code signals clean. We are moving up the timetable. Q. Now, the next one, okay, it's referring to some posts above, so I'm going to read those first so that you know what this is referring to. And it's a big post by an anonymous user. And it's this user here. And this user reposts something that Q posted on February 18th. And I've just got a screenshot here of it. And he says, at Snowden, where are you? Not Russia. Eyes on. You are now a liability. Helping at Jack? Protect Deep Dream, version 2, A. We will never forget. ES failed. Where is ES? John Perry Barlow. Define the end? The day of reckoning is upon us. John 3:16. And that was when I made the mistake and said everlasting lice, and for which I am really embarrassed, but it was slightly humorous. Q. So, we've gone through that before, and this anonymous user is posting it again. Just 1 second. Hey, Picasso. Psst. Get out. Get out. Get out. Go on. Sorry, my cat is in my other cat's food, and her food is like massively expensive because it's prescription, and so I don't want the other cat eating it. So let's go on. I'm sorry about that. Okay, now the next thing he posts is this screenshot by Jason, like it's a screenshot from Wikipedia about Jason Bourne. And it says, seeking answers, I guess this would be the original Jason Bourne, I'm not sure. I know there was, I think, 3 of them. Anyway, seeking answers about his past and family, Bourne locates Dassault in Berlin, decrypting Parsons files, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm going to go down here to what's underlined because that is what's important here. And Dewey is scheduled to attend the convention for a public debate on privacy rights with Aaron Kallur, CEO of social media giant Deep Dream. Kallur is the public face of corporate social responsibility in the internet age, but he was secretly funded by Dewey in the startup stage. Dewey intends to use Deep Dream for real-time mass surveillance alongside the latest incarnation of the CIA's targeted assassination beta program known as Iron Hand. When Kallur has second thoughts about giving the CIA access to Deep Dream, Dewey authorizes the asset to assassinate Kallur and Lee. So that's the important part, okay? Now, then this anonymous poster posts this, and which is just really a bigger picture of this right here. The CIA's targeted assassination beta program known as Iron Hand. So here's the 2 things that are important there. The social media giant Deep Dream, and they're using mass surveillance alongside the latest incarnation of the CIA's targeted assassination beta program known as Iron Hand. Okay, so, and down the anonymous user writes Deep Dream equals Twitter. Okay, now Q responds to that, and Q doesn't say no, that's not right, or leads him in a different way. He says, and it's directed, this is directed to this one above. He says, big post. And then he says, at Jack, thought he was protected. No sleep since drop. Tasked 3 to remove followers in drip order and restrict. Now I think he's talking here about Jack tasked 3, maybe 3 people, maybe, I don't know, to remove followers of Twitter in drip order and restrict. So this was a knee-jerk reaction, as far as I'm concerned. That proves it to me. And, whoops, I'm sorry. And then he says, coincidence? Is it a coincidence that he was talking about Jack and that Jack was in the crosshairs, and then all of a sudden this stuff happens with Twitter? Well, no, because he tells us nothing's coincidence as far as this goes. And then he says, hot in DC. Now, hot, I don't think means hot. Like, boy, it's hot in DC. It either means we're going hot in DC, or it could stand for a number of things. Hands-on training. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it stands for, but it stands for something. Maybe you guys have some inclination there and want to put something in the comments below. Please do. And then he said, no sleep. Stay tuned. Q. So something big is happening. Not exactly sure what yet, but I'm sure we will in time know. So let's go up to the next one. Now, this red is something I just put there so that we would know what they were referring to. So, excuse me. First of all, this anonymous user posts, and he is referring to, hang on, he's referring to this post right here, okay? So that's why I put this here so that we could reference it. And the post he's referring to is, the gun found by the U.S. Secret Service was an intercept we provided. This is not a game. Protect code went live. Code signals clean. We are moving up the timetable. Q. So, in reference to this, he posts protect, and remember that one from the last video where Q wrote this twice. Protect 6/14/46 from number 788. Now, he wrote that twice, to protect 6/14/46. Now, this is Donald Trump right here, 6/14/46. That's his birth date. June 14th, 1946. That's his birthday. So this is referring to Trump here. Protect Trump. That's what he was saying. So an anonymous user responds to QAnon's indication that the gun found by the U.S. Secret Service was an intercept we provided by posting Q's Sunday 9 p.m. post telling us twice to protect 6/14/46. So then, in lieu of Monday morning's gun discovery, Q asks, coincidence? Because Sunday night, see, this was posted twice. Protect 6/14/46. Protect 6/14/46. That was Sunday night. Then Monday, the gun's discovered. Monday morning. And Q, in response, is referring to this person up here and saying, coincidence? You think that was a coincidence? That we were saying to protect the president and then a gun's found the next day? You think that's a coincidence? I don't. Q doesn't. So, the next and the last one, that is assuming that Q has not posted anything else, which we can check on really quickly here. No, we're caught up then. And he says, AG Sessions, U.S. Cyber Task Force, important, Q. So I just want to take us out here and take a look at this, see what it is. Jeff Sessions, Cyber Task Force will tackle U.S. tech troubles. Hang on.
3, 2.
Sorry. A week after the indictment of Russian nationals, the U.S. Attorney General requests a report on the risks of the malicious use of technology. Is someone abusing the internet? U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions wants to know about it. Sessions said Tuesday that he's creating a cybersecurity task force to take on a huge variety of threats to the U.S. presented by technology, from hackers to trolls spreading fake news to violent extremists. He said he wants a group of high-level officials from 4 federal agencies and several divisions of the U.S. Department of Justice to put their heads together and assess the risks inherent in the internet. The creation of the task force comes 4 days after an investigation run by special counsel Robert Mueller indicted 13 Russian nationals and 3 companies as conspirators in a plot to spread misinformation online prior to the U.S. presidential election in 2016. The indictment increased pressure on the government and tech companies alike to make it harder for foreign entities to influence elections in the U.S. platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Google, which owns YouTube. The task force is slated to present Sessions with a preliminary report at the end of June. The report might be quite lengthy given the number of cyber threats the Attorney General wants covered. In a memo, he said these threats include efforts to interfere with or disable our critical infrastructure, efforts to interfere with our elections, use of the internet to spread violent ideologies and to recruit followers, theft of corporate, governmental, and private information on a mass scale, use of technology to avoid or frustrate law enforcement or to mass criminal activity, and the mass exploitation of computers along with weaponizing of everyday consumer devices, as well as of the very architecture of the internet itself, to launch attacks on American citizens and businesses. Now, remember when we were talking about how the cell phones were being weaponized, the smart TVs, everything. I think someone was saying that the dishwasher now even has like a smart chip or whatever in there. So, and we were talking about how these devices are used and, well, how they're misused. So it's interesting that that's included in this, and I am delighted about that. I don't like my privacy to be, I don't watch TV. I do have a TV, I just don't watch it. But I don't like the idea that my TV can turn itself on and listen to what's in the room, and it can, and that is a fact. Or that my cell phone can listen to me. I don't want that. I'm not a criminal. I haven't done anything wrong. There's no need to be listening to my conversations. So it's interesting that that's included. I think that's awesome. And I agree with Q. This is really big. This is huge. Now, while this sounds like a laundry list, Sessions said in his memo that understanding these topics is vital to American prosperity. We must ensure that internet-based technologies remain sources of enrichment rather than becoming forces of destruction and vectors of chaos, he said. Well, bravo. So, oh, look at that. I just scrolled down there. Bill Gates will play himself on Big Bang Theory. Well. Okay, so that's it for the Q post for tonight. Now, I do want to post something. I've got a lot of information on the school shooting and a lot of anomalies there, So I do want to make a video on that, so stay tuned for that. And as soon as Q posts, I will be back with more decoding, I guess. So thank you so much. I appreciate that you listen, and again, subscribe if you want to subscribe, and I appreciate you all, and I will see you in the next video.